So today I'm going to be making potato donuts. It is a very old-fashioned way to make that all-American favorite, and it's a fantastic way to use up leftover mashed potatoes. And if you've never had a potato donut before, they have something at the density of a cake donut, but they're so much lighter, and it's almost kind of like the texture kind of straddles yeast and cake donuts. It's a really surprising way to make donuts, and they are delicious. You'll be glad that you experimented with this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sift together all of my dry ingredients. 3 cups of just regular all-purpose flour. And this is just a standard sieve over a nice big bowl. Baking powder and baking soda go in next. A little bit of salt, nutmeg and cinnamon, and that's it. So I'm sifting this so there aren't any lumps, and then I'm gonna set it aside. Next up, I'm gonna cream my sugar and my eggs. It's just a cup of sugar and 2 eggs. These look great. You can see it's nice and light, just a kind of a little hint of a ribbon, so these are perfect. So I have 3 tablespoons of melted butter that I'm going to add in along with some buttermilk, which is going to add a really nice tang to these donuts. Now I'm incorporating my mashed potatoes. Just imagine if you are hosting Thanksgiving and the day after the big meal you make potato donuts for all of your family that stayed over. It's a fun little surprise. So just stir these guys in. You don't want any lumps, so make sure this is thoroughly stirred in. Next step is you're just going to incorporate the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients, a little bit at a time, so they thoroughly combine. So you want your dough to be sticky, but not too sticky. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my cutting board and I'm gonna turn this out. I'm gonna pat it into a square. So you want to pat the dough out until it's about 1 inch or so thick, and then grab your donut cutter and start cutting your donuts. If you don't have a donut cutter, you can also use 2 cans. And these you can fry up as little donut holes if you want to. My oil is heating on the stove, so now I'm gonna go ahead and fry the donuts. I have just neutral oil. You can use grapeseed oil. If you want to use peanut oil, that's fine. You want to make sure that your oil is not too hot and not too cold, because too hot, it'll cook too fast, obviously. But if it's too cold, what will happen is all of that oil will just get absorbed into the donut, and you'll end up with just kind of an oily, soggy, not great donut, which you definitely do not want. I'm gonna drop in my very first donut. You want to kind of lift them up off the bottom. They'll want to stick just a tiny bit, and then you'll see they start to float. And all you have to do is keep an eye on them. And when they're nice and golden on the bottom, flip them over and keep frying them until they're golden on the top. And that's it. I love going out for donuts, do not get me wrong, but being able to make them yourself at home and having them turn out like these gorgeous golden pillows, it's a lot of fun. Last donut's coming out of the oil, and now I'm gonna make 2 kinds of glaze, one with coffee and one with a sweet wine. All you take is a little bit of powdered sugar and then whatever liquid you want to add. This wine happens to be a Moscato from St. James Winery. Wine glaze is finished. And now I'm going to make a coffee glaze. This is the Coffee and Donuts episode after all. So you can glaze your donuts in two ways. You can either drizzle or you can dunk. I prefer the dunking method. Just put your donut right there in the glaze, turn it over, and there you go. If you want to coat the whole thing, feel free. They're your donuts, so do whatever you want. Who knew mashed potatoes could make such delicious donuts? Enjoy.